Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I have a really exciting topic that we're going to discuss, and it's all about being a godly wife. So I have written in my notes here what topics we're going to be talking about. So the first one I have is greet him happily. We all know, like, when we come home from work, we're all exhausted, we're all tired, we're all dead. Your husband should not, feel attitude from you. He shouldn't feel any sort of just disrespect, because it's not acceptable. So whenever my husband comes home, because I'm typically home before him now at this time in this season because he's working like extremely hard. I honestly don't know any other man who works as hard as he does for his age. Yesterday was his birthday, so he just turned 26. But yeah, he works super hard for us, and I'm just the luckiest wife, and I'm just so blessed by him, so I really appreciate that. So whenever he comes in, I always, help him bring stuff in from his truck, because he's got his work clothes on, which are usually all wet and dirty and stinky. So he has those on, and he has his business attire clothes in his truck, and then his backpack and his shoes. So I always help him by bringing that stuff in. And I always just go outside and, ask him how his day was, and just a happy greeting, because I am happy to see him because I love him. The next one I have is prudent in financial matters. So you want to be frugal with your money. You want to make sure that you're not spending a lot. So I have in parentheses shopping. For me, ever since, I've been in a relationship with him, which is over 5 years now, I was always shopping, like, constantly, because I didn't care about saving at all, which a blog post is coming about spending and saving. So stay tuned for that. You can look for that on my blog. It's not out now, but it will be coming very soon, you guys. So just like being mindful of your money and knowing that it's not just your money, it's your significant other's money also. And just always communicate with him about money. I know money is a huge thing that can destroy marriages, and that's not an option for mine and my husband's marriage. Like, I'm not about to ruin anything with the finances, so I always ask everything. I ask him everything for spending, for bills, just everything, and he tells me exactly what I can spend, and I stay with that. And also another thing is, a lot of people, they don't know how to live within their means, and that's something that I learned through my husband. So I, again, am super blessed by that, because before I was honestly going out and like doing $500 to $600 shopping sprees, which is absolutely crazy. And then I'm like, oh, I have no money. Well, yeah, because I just freaking spent it on Lululemon and a bunch of other places. So I'm so happy. I honestly haven't been shopping since July. It is now October. And the only reason I went shopping is because I went shopping for my birthday with my mom. So she bought everything. Thanks, Mom. And my husband actually bought me this jacket from Lululemon, which I love. So that was my birthday present, and I was very happy. So that was the last time that I went shopping. Build him up, especially around others. You always want to be talking super highly about your significant other, because you did marry them at the end of the day, and it's not hard to do. Like, it's not hard to say nice things about them because you love them genuinely. So just build them up. Don't be talking and, gossip and crap about him to your girlfriends or anything like that. Always build him up, because he is an amazing man and you married him for a reason. So just be focusing on those things to build him up and speak highly of him. Assume the best all the time. You always want to assume the best. Like, for me and him, there's just little things that happen, which is normal for any marriage. But I mean, like, you have a laundry basket, your husband takes his clothes off and then puts them right next to the laundry basket and not in the laundry basket. Things like that is what I'm talking about. So just always assume the best. Maybe he was in a rush. Maybe he just didn't see that those were dirty clothes. Maybe he didn't look for the whites or the darks and he didn't want to separate them. So I just always assume the best for him. And then even with like our Keurig, there's stains on it all the time. Literally all the time. And I'm like, okay, he must have just been in a rush to get out the door, so he left the stains. But yeah, so I just always assume the best for him, and honestly, those are just little reminders that he is here and he's in this home, and that's just amazing. Care for the home. Ladies, if you do not clean, you need to start cleaning. You need to start cleaning, and you need to start just making sure that your home is actually a place for your husband. A home can be anything. It doesn't just have to be a building. It can be, an emotion and whatever. It can be whatever you want it to be. So just make sure that your home is a home. Whatever you want to define the word home as, make sure that's a home for your husband. I love cleaning. I love making sure that my house is clean, and I love lighting candles and just having the tranquility of a nice clean home. And I also love cleaning because I know that it brings my husband joy, and I always want to bring my husband joy because he does work super hard to provide for us and our future, and I'm just blown away. So I try to do everything I can to live up to those expectations and those high standards that he sets for me too. Listen to him. Always make sure that you listen to your husbands. When your husband is communicating with you that what his old love language was is no longer, you need to listen, and then you need to change the way that you do things so that it shows you are actually actively listening to his needs and his wants. And also listen to him when you guys are having serious conversations. If you're doing something that's bothering him, make sure that you don't continue to do that, because it's going to bleed into your relationship. It's going to cause you guys to drift, and you only want to come closer together, and you want to come closer to God. You want to draw near to God, so God will draw near to you both. And you just always want to be in communication, and that starts with your listening. So make sure that you're listening to your husband, to his wants and his needs. Make space and time for his interests. So make sure that you let your husband hang out with his friends. Make sure that you let him do what he wants to do. Josh really loves dirt biking, mountain biking, and snowmobiling. So I always let him do that stuff because I know that he loves to do it. And honestly, we do it together sometimes. So it doesn't just mean that he can go hang out with people or, I'm never involved, because I am involved in some of that, but just not all the time. So just make sure that you guys both live independent lives. That is super important. I mean, even if you're in a regular relationship, you guys do not want to be spending 24/7 time together. Like, you guys need room to breathe. And that's just for obvious reasons. So pray for him. Pray for him all the time. Ladies, this is super important, especially if your husband is really involved in those extreme things. Like whenever he's gone for snowmobiling or dirt biking, I'm like, oh, that could have been the last time that I saw him, because something bad could seriously happen. So I'm always praying for him, especially in those times when he's gone, because I just want God to have an extra layer of protection over him. I also pray for him every single day when I wake up in the mornings and when I'm in my car on the way to work. I just want to pray for God to protect him and for him to feel love, and just encourage him and build him up in my prayer, and thank God for what he's already done and for what he has yet to do for my husband. My husband is so blessed, and I have been blessed by him abundantly in ways that I just never thought were possible for me and in my love life. So whatever, that's a whole nother thing. But yes, just always pray for him. And then we always pray together at night. So it's like the last thing that we do before we go to bed. If you read one of my blog posts, you'll see that I actually put in there, like, it's in the blog post titled Love Letter. It's just always, can you pray for me at the end of the day if he doesn't start praying for me already, or if I don't pray for him. It's always done. Like, there's no question. That's the last thing that we do before we go to sleep, is pray for each other and with each other. And that is just super, it's just wonderful to have that communication and the time with each other and God. So praying for the other person. Serve him in unexpected ways. Serve together in the church. Get involved in life groups, friends and mentors. So just make sure that your friends are pouring into your lives, and they're just doing it in a life-giving way and not in a life-sucking way. You want to make sure that you guys surround yourselves with people who are going in the same direction as you are, not only in your life, but in your spiritual life as well. So you just really want to be around people who are going to push you to be greater and better individuals and grow your relationship with God. and your mentors. We went to premarital counseling, so we have our premarital counselors, the people that mentored us through that time. We have them on our Facebook, so we'll definitely try to get with them sometime, but it's kind of hard for schedules. But just make sure that you do have somebody who you can trust, who you guys trust, and who you can go to, who understands your relationship, to not bring you down, but to build you up and to also better your relationship and bring you in the right direction. Build his faith. So you want to be pouring into your husband, and you want to make sure that you're elevating his faith. You want to make sure that he doesn't stay stagnant. You see where he needs to be, and you help him get there. Ladies, this is so huge, because not only will you be building his faith, but you'll be building your faith. So you always want to breathe and speak life into your husband. And when things aren't going right, or when you can sense something's off, just ask him. Like, pull him aside and just say, are you okay? Like, what have you been up to, and ask him if he's prayed today. Ask him, has he read his Bible? Just really hold him accountable for stuff, and just bring him closer to God. Because again, the more you draw closer to God, the more near God's going to draw closer to you. Worship together. I cannot say this enough. Worship together at home, worship together at church. This is just another huge thing to build your faith with the Lord and with each other. Worship together, and I just love worshiping with my husband. It's just amazing to feel God's presence, and just to see that we're both moving forward in our spiritual lives, and we're getting, something out of it. We're able to hear God's voice. We're able to see where God wants to take us next, and it's just an incredible thing to do. Seek wisdom. Trust God with everything. Trust God with everything. The Lord will always provide for you. The Lord will always just listen. All you have to do is ask, and you will receive all the needs and the desires of your heart. So for us, we're really praying for what's next in our lives, and we're just going to trust God fully through this time. And we just believe that greater things are coming for us. And ladies, some more advice that I want to give to you is just really challenge yourself to be in the Word. Challenge yourself to be in tune with the Spirit. Challenge yourself to always be listening for God's voice. Challenge yourself to do things for your husband, and be humble in those things. Be gentle with him. Be patient. You're going to have to be patient in marriage. Oh my gosh, you're going to have to be so patient with marriage and your husband, because you want to be in control of who you're being for him and for yourself, and you want to be in control of who you're being in your spiritual life with God and in your relationship with God. This isn't an act that you put on. Like, this is who you are. Like, you're either, with it or you're not. There's no in between. And if you're lukewarm, get hot, sister. Get hot. Start coming back, girl. I just wanted to share with you guys one of my favorite Bible verses about marriage. It is Joshua 1:9. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. I just think that Bible verse is so powerful, because it's like God's telling us, hey, I got this. Whatever hardship's going to come our way in the marriage, I got this. Just let go and give it to God. Just be strong and be courageous. Everything's going to be fine. And that's also a part of trusting God fully in your marriage and your relationship, and also trusting God fully in your relationship with the Lord. You have to just put your full trust in him and just surrender everything to him, because honestly, without God, I wouldn't have my husband. So that's just full trust in the Lord right there. I have to trust God with everything in my marriage and my relationship with my husband, because God's the one that gave him to me, and that's the reason why our love is just that much more special and amazing to me, because I know that, and I can feel that, and I can sense that. So, and also, ladies, you want to keep your marriage private. You don't want to be talking about your sex life with your girlfriends. Yes, it's a topic that everybody wants to know about, but you don't need to answer those questions. Keep that private. Keep stuff private. I cannot tell you enough how many times things have been said, not about my marriage or my relationship with my husband, but just things in the past, and that just come back to burn you. So people don't need to know about your relationship. The only people that need to know about your relationship are the people in your relationship. So only you and your husband. Done. that's all I have for you guys today. So if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel.